All right, yo, we are live, and we're on Minecraft, new type of thing. Probably should pull out my phone and stuff, but yeah, we're chilling on Discord, with peoples. You can say hi.
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Howdy.
All right, perfect. You guys should be able to hear people and stuff. It's pretty cool. Let me actually pull up. I know you guys can only see my screen, but there you go. I just opened up Minecraft. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We have a Minecraft server on the Discord server. It's pretty cool.
Are you streaming to Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube as per usual.
Alright.
Yeah. Should I start streaming on Twitch? I don't know. I mean,
I
like,
think the dual stream would be cool, just to catch a little bit of
yeah, but like,
the amount of pressure that puts on a network.
yeah, man, and it's just like, I would use like YouTube for main content, and then I would use Twitch for like secondary content. That's like not really cybersecurity, but like if I'm doing like a bunch of research, and like the stream's going to be, I know the stream's going to be longer than like the 2 hour thing, then I would probably just do Twitch. But otherwise, if I want people to watch it as content, it would probably be on like YouTube or something.
So,
Like that.
Cosmo, there's one question I have.
What's up, bro?
What does Minecraft have to do with security?
What does Minecraft have to do with security? That's a great question. I'll probably just unlist this live stream once we're done. But
Alright, cool.
We're back.
dang, everyone's leaving as soon as we start streaming. Eh?
I'm still here. We're good.
Oh, okay.
The important people are still here.
The important people are still here. Elite said, Elite's freaking awake. I'm
Is
just
he?
reading the chat now. Yeah, he said, I told you I wouldn't sleep, and then he put log4j. Alright, yeah, there you go. Wow, that's funny. Anyway,
And he complains that he's so tired.
right? But yeah, we're just chilling, y'all. We're just chilling. Which one's the down? I think it's this one. Yeah. You guys want a studio tour of the base? There's Soul just staring into space. Here, I'll guys show you. So we're in this like cave, and if you kind of look into here, you kind of see our base and stuff. Bro, do you have Discord? Yeah, Discord link is in the description as always. I can actually.
Discord's there, and in the Discord's all the Minecraft information. Server's available to everybody, it's open.
Yes, man.
Feel free to come jump in, hang out, I think we've spent the last, let's say, at least a third of the last 2 days in this VC just messing around on
Alright.
Minecraft.
Yeah. Let me actually plug in my phone. There you go. But yeah, we're just
Lots you
chilling.
need.
I don't. This is not going to be a consistent thing unless you guys want it to be. There's Monty. Say hi.
Hey, what's up?
There's Soul. Big Soul.
What's up? Didn't you guys need food?
I got a bunch of
Yes.
food and I'm cooking up in,
I do need
portal.
food. Yes,
Okay,
I will take food.
I'm just gonna get some more, just cause.
I
Appreciate
got some
it, bro.
cooking over here. Like on me right now, I've already got 30 cooked fish and then some cod as well, and there's more in the furnaces just outside the portal.
Dwight's true laughing. Dwight, I believe they are a happy hacker person. I think I can't remember.
Give me a second.
they
You want to try
said-
that again?
My English is terrible. I'm giving up, man. Monty, I'm literally having my blood tested because even when I go to sleep early, I'm always exhausted and tired. Oh man. But yeah, we're chilling. Chat hacks. Who's on the Discord? I actually can't see it because. Or who's unmuted?
I'm still here.
Alright, bro. I'm loving
No
these
shit.
like spit and suck. I love the song. Actually,
Yeah.
Let's not explain that.
that's my. It's awesome.
Do you guys have any extra wool?
There should be some in the earth chest.
And if there's not,
Do.
we can rob the village over there. They've got all those canopies with all the wool.
Kill
Oh,
some
yeah,
sheep or
good idea.
something.
Okay. Here.
What do you need wool for, or how much do you need, I guess?
I just want to make a banner so I can put that on my shield.
All right,
just
I'm gonna
to-
turn down
Oh,
some
yeah.
of this. Appreciate it.
Honestly, where are you?
I'm coming back. I was over at the nether portal.
Okay. Actually, we can meet at another portal, I guess.
Oh, I was already like right up here at the top of the house.
Oh yeah, you guys want to go to the Nether and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, bet let me pack.
All right. So anybody want to give any
Yeah.
project updates on any of the stuff they've been working on? Like Cosmo, I know you've been working on some stuff, and
Yes, bro.
everything
I can
out.
update the world on some of my projects. So one of the key projects I'm working on is I'm going to get back on OnlyRat. I was going to stream today, but we're like, hey, let's just play Minecraft today. So I'll stream tomorrow or at midnight or something. But one of the projects I'm working on now is obviously OnlyRat. But as you saw in my Google or I hate Google video or Google can suck my blank video, I was basically talking about how Google is removing their less secure app access. So they do technically still have SMTP, but you still have to do like some random thing to like make it work and stuff. I'm like, you know what? That's boring. That's mid. So we are going to upgrade and we're going to use Discord webhooks and incorporate Discord webhooks into OnlyRat. Actually, I'm sure if some of you guys don't even know what OnlyRat is. OnlyRat is a remote access toolkit. That's what RAT stands for, remote access toolkit. And basically, it's kind of like a backdoor, but with a toolkit. So you have remote access to a computer, but with it, you can also install like a keylogger. You can take pictures through the webcam. You can look at the screen. Basically, all that cool hacking stuff. And I've been, live streaming it on the channel so you guys can look through the videos. There's an actual playlist. If you go in the playlist section, you'll see a playlist for OnlyRat, so you can see all the episodes. But what we're going to do is, because the default installer that we made uses SMTP, which is basically simple mail transfer protocol. It basically sends us emails, right? So we can get the IP address of the computer. But because, Google wants to, be mean, so we are going to use Discord webhooks. And Discord webhooks basically is going to allow us to get information sent to us through Discord instead of, Gmail, which is cool because you guys can basically make your own little Discord server, for free and everything, and just generate a Discord webhook, put into the payload, and then the malware will actually send you all the information through Discord. So you could have your own Discord server for OnlyRat, and then you can have a channel for keylogs, and all the keylogs will be sent through in your keylog section, and then you can have a channel for webcam images, and they'll send you all the webcam images to that Discord. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Just so you can have like your own like little Discord server to manage like, your OnlyRat targets and such. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been kind of planning behind the scenes. I'm going to do a live stream later, and trying to start incorporating that into OnlyRat and then some of my other Hack5 payloads. But yeah, that's what I've been working on mainly. I've actually been working on a lot. I'm gonna keep talking for a little bit. We also launched the Wi-Fi Pineapple course. A bunch of people joined. I think like 40 people currently enrolled in the Wi-Fi Pineapple course. Sam, am I ready? I'll be right there. Oh yeah, see, everyone left. I'm still over here. But yeah, I guess that's what I've been working on. We have the website, Happy Hacker Site Plan. But yeah, pretty cool. How about you guys?
Soul, do you want to start off? I mean, what have you been working on lately?
Honestly, not anything super interesting. I've been working on a website for our school project. That's about it. Been learning Go in my spare time.
Oh, you're trying to do some malware stuff with that, or you?
I would like to do some more malware stuff, but too ingrained with Linux now. I find it really hard to go back to Windows, dude. To do anything. Like it's probably not very healthy.
Nah, I'm here for it. How about you, Monty?
A little bit of everything. Lately, it's been like digging into lab environments and stuff like that. And one of the things I've been playing with is NTLM hashes. particularly the fact that Windows workstations don't authenticate by default NTLM hashes, meaning that you can kind of play around with a bit of a pass the hash attack. Not necessarily. It's kind of the same concept to pass the hash, which is to give over information to it and it accepts that information. But a bit different. You're not using password hashes. That's not what you're forwarding over. It's really a completed request for an NTLM hash. So the way that works is the workstation will make a request to the server. The server will authenticate or will ask for authentication from the device. The device will authenticate, and then the server will fulfill as long as authentication meets, and then hand back the response to the workstation, saying yes, you can do this, or yes, you can access this data. So if you take a fulfilled request, so that back part where it says yes, you can do it, if you feed that back to a workstation, it'll get confused and say, oh, sorry, I forgot I requested this. Let me fulfill what I've already asked permission for. And so you can feed it, permissions for stuff like that. Obviously, with domain controllers, it's what allows you to do that still relies on the permissions of the person you capture. But it's a way of bypassing admin credentials without having to capture the NTLM hash, without having to crack it and all that stuff. You can just automate the process of grabbing that NTLM hash. And using a custom response with an M packet to attach certain commands and run it based off the permissions of whatever's there. So if the admin user on the network makes a random request, I will grab that NTLM hash, and it may not be directly related to the request I want it to fulfill, but because it's got the permissions, it will fulfill it.
Gotcha. That's cool shit.
I'm also hoping to show a little bit more on Bloodhound. I know there's been a couple people who've covered it before, bigger channels and stuff, but I do think that there's a lot of use both in the blue team and red team side.
Ooh.
What the fuck was that?
Creeper. Damn.
Yeah, okay, you guys ready to enter?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yep.
Alright, let's do this. But, like I was saying with Bloodhound, so Bloodhound kind of has this really good use with both red team and blue team. The reason I say that is, with the blue team side, it allows you to tighten up that security. It's kind of a pre-check before you've actually been checked by attacking. You're able to look at relationships between users, computers, and the different relationships between them. How parent and child relationships between different Active Directory roles can lead to either escalating permissions on specific roles, or can end up becoming a way of creating new roles and basically lessening the permissions or increasing the permissions of different accounts just based on its relationship to one role to another. It is super nerdy, but
yeah, no, that's cool.
When you look at it, it's not a very hard concept to grasp when you start looking at it. It's all GUI based for Bloodhound and everything. It's fun to look at and kind of see. It shows it as if you were following a family tree, and that's the way it handles it is as relationships in the most traditional sense. Like this is the parent of this, role or this or that, and they, they're siblings, they're linked together roles, stuff like that.
Yeah, I have like.
There you go.
Where you saw?
That's good.
Thanks. You're good. So, that's just some of the little stuff I've been working on. Hoping to be able to put out some of that content out later for the Cosmodium channel to go over and just look at, the different hashes and whatnot, and how you can abuse those without actually having to, have an expensive crack station.
Gotcha. No, that's cool stuff. That's cool. Cool stuff. Cool shit, man. You guys will probably get to see more and more that. You'll see more new faces on the channel. I think we just finished 3 new courses today, and then I finished the Introduction to Ethical Hacking course, and then we're launching a Linux Fundamentals course. We also have a soon-to-be what's almost like a Python malware type course with Windows Fundamentals with a friend Nightshade. If you guys are consistent viewers of the podcast, then you would be a little bit more familiar about that. Damn, I just fell all the way down here.
You guys want to head towards the Solstan Valley?
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
over here with it.
But you'll start to see more and more new faces on the channel, and a lot more cool content on the channel as well.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
He die?
No,
Oh,
he's good.
okay. I'm gonna get some of this quartz because I need for redstone. Oh, never mind. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need
oh, guys, I've never fought these guys. But
Wait.
we also did have the 3 new slides sent in today from some of our people who those will soon become cool little concept videos in classes.
Yeah. Those were some of the courses I was talking about that they just.
Oh, okay.
But that's awesome. That's awesome.
There's a lot of cool stuff that we've been working on over here. And
Yeah, especially behind the scenes and everything. Oh, I should have brought a shield.
I got a spare one. You want it?
Sure. Yeah, appreciate it.
Because I got the totem of undying.
Just throw it over here. You're good.
So for anybody who's in the chat, we've kind of been bringing this up lately. It's been asked a couple times, but what's everybody's opinion on the different Hack 5 tools, and in particular the Wi-Fi pineapple?
Yes, man.
I guess compared to this newer version, compared to the old one, or just what it claims it should do versus what it actually does. Like, how do you guys feel about it?
You talking to chat or my opinion?
I mean, we can cover your opinion while we're waiting for chat, but I would definitely like to see what other people in the
Yeah, I'd
chat
definitely like
think.
to see chat if you guys want to share your opinion about it all. I actually left a whole little segment in the Discord server talking about my opinion on the device. I think personally, I think it is decent. I think it is like a cool Wi-Fi hacking device that does what it's supposed to do. Oh, that's really cool. I never saw the top of the Nether before. Sorry. But I think it's a decent device that does what it's supposed to do. Definitely could have some like troubleshooting, like in like fixes in some areas. I know like some people have problems when like trying to have it connect to like different like when having it. See, English is so I can't speak English. I promise you I can't. Basically, when people are trying to have it connect to or have devices connect to it, they might have issues, especially with the Pine AP suite, and you're hosting a bunch of SSIDs for other devices to connect to. If you guys don't know about the Pine AP suite, just watch the video I made about it. I made a whole course on the dang thing. But I think that like when it comes to Hack 5 and their gear and their devices and tools, it's often as like most of their devices are only as good as the community that surrounds it, right? Like when you look at the USB rubber ducky, in essence, it is just a USB drive and a keyboard, right? It's just like a keyboard that's like really small, and which is cool. But if people aren't developing cool payloads for it, no one's going to like have the incentive to be drawn to it, right? If you don't even use payloads for it,
Well, can I stop you real quick on that aspect of it?
yeah, go ahead.
I do agree with you that the community is a huge driving factor, but let's look at the rubber ducky, for example, since you used that one as an example for it.
Yeah, totally.
Picture the rubber ducky when it first launched. Its firmware didn't always work. And so now the community is not as driven to make new payloads, and not as driven to make newer stuff, and I feel like that's
Oh shit.
part of the problems are coming out.
Oh,
I feel like that's where part of the problems are right now, is that there are a lot of cool concepts that would be fun to do with the pineapple just because of what it is, but I feel like because it doesn't fulfill fully what it should, it's not being utilized in the way that I think Darren and the rest of the team wanted it to be, used as. And so, I feel bad that that's the case in which it is, and that's where it's at. But I mean, that's the way I see it. At least that's where I've seen a lot of the people who I have talked with. It seems to be that there's a disconnect in what the product does do versus what it should do. And I want to see the pineapple. Like I loved the Nano. The Nano was amazing.
Oh yeah, Nano and Tetra.
Definitely. Those were some of the best tools. I mean, I didn't play with the Tetra, mostly because whenever I was still playing with the Nano and first getting into all the Hack 5 tools, I was on deployment, so I only had, so much space in my bag that I could carry around stuff and play in my free time. So those tools were nice. I mean, I love those tools so much. But I feel like the biggest thing that I have is they promised all these updated features, hardware stuff and the firmware, and I think the hardware upgrades definitely did make it. But I feel like the firmware is where they kind of lost it. They lost a lot of the modules. It almost feels like there's a disconnect, and I've said this a couple times, a disconnect between the back end and the front end.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about when it comes to like the community, right? Because like the community are the people who are really developing those like modules and stuff for the tools like this. Like when it comes to like the payloads for like the rubber ducky, for example, like those payloads are what kind of incentivizing how cool the rubber ducky is. It gives it what its potential is. It gives it all the capabilities it has essentially. But I feel like I don't feel like there's enough support for it. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like, I feel like there needs to be more support for it. I think more people need to get involved and try to like add those modules and like add those features that used to be there. But at the same time, I feel like they're I feel like it's lacking in a lot of areas. Like there's like features like in previous versions that it used to be able to do. But no longer can like perform, and I don't know. I feel like there's a like, disconnect. Yeah.
When I popped it open and I saw they removed some of the modules, I was fine with that. The modules weren't my problem. The problem seemed to be just the general stuff. Getting Pine AP when I change a setting and hitting save, those settings weren't saving. Those settings didn't exist after I hit save. They didn't, affect anything that was going on. So, like, as much as I want to design modules for it, or I want to play with the, cool community stuff, if the core device, the things that we're supposed to build off of, don't work, like, how are you supposed to build a house with a broken hammer, I guess is the way I see it. It felt like it was broken at the core before. Like, I don't want to be harsh, because honestly, like, Hack 5 built a lot of the ground that we stand on for this, and I really don't want to criticize the device, because it actually hurts me that I feel this way about it. It's such a good legacy device, something that we kind of all played around with, had a lot of hype around it growing up, and it inspired a lot of us. I'd say, like, honestly, playing with Hack 5 tools, that was one of my favorite things when I first got into the field, just, that there was a company built specifically for hackers with these tools for us to play with. I just feel like there is a problem with this most current version.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that Hack 5 has dropped their quality. I think it's almost a death by success for this tool and some of the stuff we've seen for Hack 5. I mean, when you look at their live streams anytime they post now, Darren's not in front of the camera anymore, and he hardly ever is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. People miss the old Hack 5, and I feel like they've gotten to that point where their success is expanding them to a new spot, that they're no longer able to be a part of the community the same way they were. And once again, I feel bad saying this because I really don't want it to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the old days of Hack 5. I honestly do.
Me too.
I love the old days of being able just to watch Darren and watching Shannon Morris and everybody just talk about the different stuff, or not even about the Hack 5 tools in particular, just like. I learned how to build my first VPN server watching them.
Yeah.
I learned how to do clustered virtual servers and stuff like that. The ability to put all these different hypervisors together, let them feed off the same resources. Like, I learned all that sort of stuff from watching Hack 5, but I don't feel like that same material is around anymore. I feel like it's becoming... Yeah. I mean, we have talked about here at Cosmodium some of the content we will and won't make, and we're kind of trying to stick away from that stereotypical, everybody's got a video about a Metasploit, payload or something. We're trying to stick away from the stereotypical, everybody's got a copy of, insert, generic hacking video here.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels more and more like that's what's, happening to Hack 5.
I think, so I'll conclude off what I said on the Pineapple real quick. So this is basically what I said in the Discord server. I said, too long didn't read. In all honesty, I think it is a decent tool that is, that does what it's supposed to do. Though it could be better in some areas. I was going to make a video discussing that, but I was unsure of the feedback. In my history of YouTube thus far, I've had 2 hate comments on CTF videos, and all the rest were on Wi-Fi Pineapple related videos. We do need to understand the Wi-Fi Pineapple is only as good as the community that supports it, like the Ducky is only as cool as the payloads that is developed for it. So there needs to be more support and development for it. It was also designed for penetration testers to automate tedious Wi-Fi hacking processes to quickly test infrastructure. And it does it well enough, but until it gets more support, they may need, or you may be better off with a Wi-Fi adapter or something of the sort. Because it automates hacking processes, it makes it tempting for beginners. But I think they should learn some more fundamentals of Wi-Fi hacking beforehand, like aircrack and such. This includes myself in some areas. So that was kind of like my, I guess, final judgment on the Wi-Fi Pineapple. But when it comes to like the new like new like area of like what Hack 5 is doing and such, I definitely agree with you, Mati. I think like I definitely miss that old Hack 5, and like I remember one of the earlier videos I saw were like just like the podcast, right? It was like him, Shannon Morris, and like a brick wall, and they would just like bring random people in. And I understand there was that flood and such, so they had some troubles with the studio. But I feel like as if, you know, in the digital age, there's still abilities, you know, so we can communicate. Like how we're doing this podcast right now. We're all just chilling on Discord, all chatting hacks, playing Minecraft, you know. And I think like when it comes to like the old like Hack 5, there was like this kind of like, how I say it, like the old Hack 5 kind of had like this almost
everyday person feel almost like
yeah, it felt
you.
no, it wasn't just
Personal,
that, but it was personal, but it was like I liked the content. I liked it wasn't like short form and like TikTok when you explain everything to me. It was kind of like, you know, they deep dive and they got to see like how things worked and such. And like I remember like this Nmap Basics video. They brought on some hacker, and no, it wasn't Nmap Basics, it was Advanced Nmap Techniques or something like that. And they brought on this hacker who did something somewhere, and he taught, you know, the viewers some like really cool tactics behind Nmap. And it, you know, it was just like, that was one of the earlier videos I saw. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And then you would see them, hey, we're just going to do some cool payload development. And then you would see them like start off going through the stages of development. Like, all right, well, this is cool, but we can make it better, and this, that, and the third. And, you know, even outside of like, you know, Hack 5 gear, there was content on like the community of hacking, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're live right now.
That's funny.
Guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
We
I
are live
agree.
on YouTube, yeah.
You did make a point while you were talking about your comment within the Discord server, which was, you know, some people probably should return back to the, you know, Wi-Fi adapter in your computer, learn the tools that are there. And I fully agree with that. I wish Shepard was here right now, because Shepard actually, the other day me and Shepard got into a conversation talking about specifically Hack 5 tools and the way that people use them, and it was specifically drawn up because of your question to everybody, you know, hey, what is your opinion on, you know, what is your opinion on Hack 5 tools? And so that created a discussion where we talked about, you know, they're good for this particular situation, but really you should know how to do it. You're right, the beginners are grabbing these tools and they're not really taking the time to fully grasp, you know, different captures and, you know, what the actual method is for attack on these different things. They just know, click a button on this interface and it works. They don't understand the actual terminology behind it.
I agree to an extent. I think for the most part you are right. But I think there are tools like, for example, the Bash Bunny. Like that is a very intricate tool, and you learn about like emulation and like different device emulation. That's a lot more of a complex tool to learn. And same thing with like USB Rubber Ducky, Land Turtle. I think when it comes specifically to like Wi-Fi Pineapple, there's like this like love. I feel like most of the other Hack 5 gear is fine. I think it's more specific to the Pineapple itself where people have issues.
Well, that's because when you look at the way the pineapple is built, the pineapple, realistically, outside of the modules that are there, look what you can do. I mean, you can already, without adding any extra modules into it, deauthenticate device, capture a handshake. You can make it join using the Pine AP your device, making it think it is a device that it's previously been a part of because of its probes. Stuff like that is automatically cooked in, requires no knowledge of what's actually going on during that interface. But when you take a tool like the ducky or the bunny, you really do have to learn that language. You have to have intent on the system you're using. So not only do you have to understand ducky language, but you have to be able to take what's going on in the system that you want to affect and make ducky language become the hands that work within that system. And I think that's why that has a completely different feel than the pineapple does, because the pineapple is out of the box an interface that you can do quite a bit with without ever understanding a single thing. And it's really, I would say it's unimpeded by many things.
Yeah.
And I think you're definitely right that stuff like the bunny is one of those tools that, even the ducky still, I mean, early versions could be replicated the ducky. We had a conversation about this with one of the people on the server. They're talking about, oh, can I just take a USB and turn it into a ducky? Back in the day, we could mimic the whole concept of running a script.
Auto run that INF file. Auto run that INF file. Yeah.
But that stuff's disabled nowadays. It's not really a thing that's used. But I mean, the pineapple doesn't have a. How do I put this? It doesn't have a learning curve, I would say. It's there, and it functions. I mean, when you start getting more and more, and you want to start making very specific attacks, you have to dig in. But just the amount of damage and trouble you can kind of get in just with surface level, just by unboxing it, plugging it in, creating your username and password and going. Right there, it's already, pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, what was fascinating for me was I was digging around the hardware in my laptop the other day, and I actually found out, for some reason, my built-in Wi-Fi card supports monitor mode.
That is interesting. I don't see many laptops nowadays with, killer Wi-Fi cards. They don't. And that's becoming one of the more used Wi-Fi cards, too. But, I mean...
my laptop's also 5+ years old.
It's stuff like that where I feel like the community's drawn. I think that's where the most slapback comes from it. And I think that also might explain why the voices are so loud when it comes to the pineapple, because I think the pineapple allows somebody who knows nothing to pretend as if they know something and cause the same amount of damage as somebody who knows something. So when that feature doesn't work, or the click the button and everything just magically hacks and does this and does that, I feel like when that breaks, that irritates them, because they don't know how to really get in there and fix it. What irritates me about it is I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I went in there and looked at the device. I played with it, and I gave it many attempts. I mean, there's weekends where I've gone and just played with it for hours and still have come back with the same conclusion. Maybe I was hard on it. Maybe this newest upgrade fixed some of the things, and I still come back with that same feeling of this isn't the Nano, and I don't think it's going to live up to the Nano's, shadow, which is sad to say since it was supposed to be kind of be the better, bigger brother of it.
Can you explain what the Nano is for people who don't know? Because I don't actually know.
The Wi-Fi Pineapple Nano, it was originally it's the Mark 6 technically. And the Mark 6 falls under two types, the Tetra and the Nano, and the Tetra resembles more of the current Mark 7 that we have, with a 3 antenna layout instead of a 4 antenna. And then the Nano was just a 2 antenna Wi-Fi Pineapple, real small. I'd say probably about the size of a candy bar.
Someone in the chat's like, well, this is cool. Yeah, chatting hacks while playing Minecraft, yeah.
It's about the size of a candy bar. It has a USB female at the bottom and a USB male at the top, so you can power it off of like a charger bank. When I was on deployment, we had our portable Wi-Fi. Basically, took a SIM card, hooked us up to the network, and broadcast as a Wi-Fi device. It had a charging function on the top, so using the little bracket, I just basically combined the two of them. So I always had Wi-Fi to feed this thing off of while powering it. So it was a nice little thing, but. Essentially, it's the Wi-Fi Pineapple Mark 7 and a smaller, less hardware powerful portable variant, essentially. But
a good question, right?
I think it's
yeah, let
turning
me go.
day. I think it's turning day right now.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, never mind. I was going to try to get rid of, because I know tomorrow is going to be our time in which we're going to start seeing phantoms.
Gotcha.
Oh, no, not phantoms.
But I
Um,
think there is. I think that's where the biggest cry comes from, is the people who don't know, the people who are using that point and click stuff. But then there are valid concerns out there that kind of add on top of that wave, and I feel like those valid concerns are kind of being washed out amongst the cries of, whether you want to call them skids or not, people who don't know what they're doing, who want to use this for malicious purposes, but don't want to put in the time to actually learn
yeah.
the actual strategies. I brought up the three-way handshakes. I mean, there's people who I've talked to who claim, oh, I can hack Wi-Fi because I have the pineapple, but then you ask them about a three-way handshake and they have no idea what the hell you're talking
What they're
about.
talking about, yeah. I think, like, it comes to a point where there's, like, you kind of have to ask yourself, what was the pineapple intended for, right? So when I look at the pineapple, I personally see it as a tool that made, like, Wi-Fi hacking processes more automated for penetration testers. So they have to put out, like, a Wi-Fi card, they have to go through the air cracks. We can do, like, process that can be a little bit more tedious when it can be a little bit more automated for them, so they can just generally and quickly test the security of an engagement, like of a client that they have at an engagement. That's what I would like to think it was created for, right? Because it does automate a lot of those tasks for penetration testers, so that way they don't have to, do any more quote unquote tedious tasks. I think though, like, it's kind of like, so I guess that's kind of like why they don't have that quote unquote learning curve, because they're trying to make it easy. I think that's probably the intention. But when it comes to the scope outside of actual penetration testers, I don't think, like, people new to Wi-Fi hacking or hacking. I honestly think if you are new to hacking, you probably shouldn't invest into like hacking gear and such, because it's just so expensive.
I agree. Like,
And I think you should wait until you are, like, moderately experienced. Because if you spend, like, because a rubber ducky's like already like $50, right? Like, I made the Swiss Army duck and then lost it in like 3 weeks, and it's basically $120 piece of hacking gear somewhere, probably, probably in a certain military facility. But regardless, it's just like, I made a video off of this actually. Totally forgot. What's it called? Like cybersecurity finances or finances and cybersecurity, something like that. And I kind of talked about how you should actually spend your money within this, like, field, and, like, you should wait out on like things like Hi-Fi gear until you actually, like, learn. Unless if it's like something like that's oriented towards your interest, like if you want to learn about Wi-Fi hacking, then buy an adapter first, learn how Wi-Fi hacking works, and then sure, yeah, buy a Wi-Fi pineapple. I'm not saying don't buy it, don't use it. I'm just saying, like, you should be able to learn some of the fundamentals beforehand, so you actually can have an idea and an understanding behind some of the stuff you're doing.
honestly, the way I feel about it is, yeah, you shouldn't buy tools if you're new to it. Not even just from the financial aspect of it, but I mean, yeah, I guess it just still does lean into the financial aspect. Whenever you try this out, not everybody knows if this is going to stay, if this is going to be something you stick with. I mean, the amount of people I've met on my journey who, like, just recently I reached out to a guy who I used to, hang out with. We used to talk, shop all the time. He's not even doing this anymore. He gave up on security. He gave up on the computers. Like, he still games and still builds his own PCs and stuff like that. But security, he stopped. And he was the one who started teaching me the basics of SQL injection.
Oh wow.
He gave up like years ago, and every time I talk to people, it's oh, it was fun during the time, but it's just not something I could dedicate time to. It's just not something I wanted to push this much into. Life came in the way. But
Yeah.
Hack 5 tools are not cheap. I mean, if I had to guess how much my bag that I carry costs, because I keep my Hack 5 gear in there, not because I need it all the time, but just because for me it's a hobby. My tools that I have, they're hobbyist. All except for, I would say, the bunny and the ducky, and the only reason I say the bunny is because I use the bunny almost identically to the ducky. I only
Yeah.
use the keyboard injection type areas of it, but for my job basically being a sysadmin. But all the rest of them I carry. But if I had to guess the amount that I have, and I've got just about every Hack 5 tool, you're probably looking at anywhere from $600 to $800
Yeah. Yeah.
walking around. And I mean, I've broken some of these tools, and it sucks because, like, if you're not careful with them, $150 purchase turns into 3 weeks worth of entertainment, and then it's gone. They don't accept tools back afterwards, and it's not because they don't trust them, but I mean, it's a broken tool. What are they going to do with it?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, eventually I wouldn't mind getting my hands on some of the tools just so I could have them and play around with them. But at the same time, my personal take on it, if I may, is like, as a person who's just getting into it myself, like as a not a full-time thing, but as just I'm learning because I want it to be a full-time thing. I personally feel like purchasing tools isn't necessarily what I should be doing because I should be learning the ins and outs of my system.
I fully agree.
Yeah, I'd love to walk into the airport next time I go down to Florida after this one and turn around and just have the entire tool set with me, but I can only imagine the crazy looks the TSA would be giving me.
I can tell you, actually, I've flown within the States, I have flown internationally, I have flown to, from the US to Europe with those tools, and I've actually never gotten questions about them. You would think with the amount of antennas I carry in my bag, somebody would be like, the hell's going on here? But so far, it seems to be pretty, people don't really question it.
Yeah.
It's funny when they ask me how many computers I have, how many computers you got in this bag? 4, currently.
Yeah.
Currently.
And then everybody wonders why I'm sitting here with my one little laptop, and I'm like, I need more.
Does the Bash Bunny count as a computer if you're going through the airport?
It's
security?
I think it's quad core.
Yeah. I know it's a little like Debian thing, but
I mean, I don't think you'd get in trouble if you said, I'm only carrying one laptop, and you have Hack 5 tools in there too. But like, I carry a Pi in my bag, so if they ask, I still technically count that one as a computer and everything. And I mean, I don't know. That's actually an interesting thing to bring up too. That was one of those things I was scared of when I first brought them. My first time flying with them was going out of the States completely. I was going over to Europe. I was worried I was going to get stopped by TSA and have to answer why it is that I'm bringing all this mysterious equipment. And back then, I even had a software-defined radio in my bag, and I was worried that was what was going to get me in trouble.
Oh, that would actually make sense. You just cut out. Hello? Alright, I don't know what just happened. Let me see. Discord. Gotcha.
The first thing I say is yes.
All right, we're back.
We're back. Yeah, Discord is just... Discord can also suck my nose.
Hey, thanks for that quick, break. The audience needed it for a second.
Yeah, audience needed it.
Real quick intermission.
Yeah, they just couldn't handle all of my awesomeness, and they needed an intermission.
That's what it was. Yeah, totally.
110%. Throw this hoodie back there.
I think
All
it's
right.
it's interesting, just kind of looking at the different aspects of it. And me and Cosmo yesterday, I brought this up. You kind of see a lot of the new people asking the exact same questions and having the exact same concerns. I want to say that's partially due to the people who make content on this sort of stuff. So, and when I say that, I want to real quick preference this with a couple people I want to exclude that I consider in this group. John Hammond is definitely not one of the people I'm about to mention. I would say Early Hack 5, definitely not part of the group of people I would mention. Cyber Mentors on that list. I'm trying to remember who else. a little bit on Network Chuck. He kind of hits on these territories of what to bring up, but more or less, this group of people, that group of people is pretty good about it. But there's been a lot lately about like, oh, you have to treat everything like you're constantly being watched. You know, you have to treat everything like your identity cannot leave, otherwise the world ends, and this, that, and the third. And they've got people thinking that, you know, oh, you have to install Kali Linux as your first operating system, and you have to like you have to have it installed. It just doesn't work unless you do. This one's
Tree farm.
But how are they supposed to grow?
It doesn't go all the way through. They just go straight up, and you don't have to worry about the leaves. So you can just
Oh.
I don't think that works.
I didn't think so either, but we can test real quick.
We can test it.
Yeah, I got bone meal.
got bone meal?
See, that's
But
you mentioned that. That's something that bugged me. But go ahead and finish.
But it just seems like so many people are on this path of I have to have this, I have to have that, and I know
Right
that
now.
that's kind of the Instagram model hacker mentality. You know, like whenever you're putting your content up because you want it to be enjoyable, you know, people aren't wanting to make those boring videos of, you know, for you to be a hacker, you can't just install Kali Linux and call it good. You can't just, you know, buy Hack5 tools and you're good. You have to know your system. I mean, when you look at it, the actual, like, what qualifies as a hacker is somebody who's willing to take the things that are known and expand it in ways that aren't known. But that ability to do that comes from a deep understanding of what you're working with. And I feel like so many people on the internet now who are, you know, catching the attention of these early hackers and these people who are getting into the security, they're doing it the wrong way. As in, they're pointing them towards, you have to do this very specific things, and once you've met this list of requirements, then you're a hacker. I don't have a list of requirements that I had to meet before I decided I was a hacker, before I would use the title. Do I consider myself a hacker now? I'd say yeah. But not in the, you know, hoodie, black text on, or green text on black screen type hacker, but
lead speed.
As someone who has a deep interest in specific topics, somebody who enjoys what I'm doing so much that I want to expand further and figure out why it works. Everything that I do now is driven kind of by a love for what's going on, not just because so-and-so said I need to do this so I can call myself a hacker. You know, it was kind of like an after the fact, after I've kind of joined into this community, that's whenever it...
I might interlude.
Go ahead.
I might interlude here. I don't know. I feel like, in my eyes, anybody can be a hacker. I think, like, hacking is just the concept of just kind of, like, you know, breaking things apart, seeing how they work, and, like, you know, kind of that curiosity and that, like, ampage to learn more, I feel like is just that hacker mindset. And that's kind of what I always strive for, like that, you know, cybersecurity education obviously being our main focus here. But I feel like, you know, hacking is just that, I feel like, yeah, basically anybody can be a hacker. I think as long as you're like, have that mindset to learn more and understand that, you know, you aren't like a master at like all, I'm not a master at anything, you know, I'm good at malware and crypto or cryptography, but I'm decent at web hacking. But like past that, I mean, you ask me to do forensics or something, you know, I'm
that's what I'm getting at is.
But the thing is, but the thing is, sorry to, you know, cut you off, but the thing is, because you have the hacker mindset, you are willing to learn more about forensics. If you're like doing a CTF, you're like, okay, so what type of tools would I use? Okay, what type of, you know, file, like what you're analyzing, you're being analytical, you're trying to understand and like look, be curious. I feel like that whole area is what is, you know, makes you like the hacker.
I agree, that is what makes you a hacker, but what I'm talking about is the fact that these YouTubers, these people who are creating this content for people, they're not preaching that to people. They're not preaching that that's what makes you a hacker. They're preaching that installing this tool, owning this device, doing this, doing that. That's what makes you a hacker. Not the understanding of what you're doing, but the ownership of certain items. Like, it's almost a buy-in club, and that's one of the things, like, how many people come in and say, hey, where do I learn Linux? Like, you get those questions every now and then, but how many you get outnumbered clearly by the people who are like, hey, I want to install Kali Linux. Can somebody help me with that? Okay, how much experience do you have with Linux in general? None at all. This is my first Linux distro. Okay, you want to pop Kali Linux on your system. You sure? yeah, let's do it. And it just, that to me is what I see as being a problem. That people are willing to, sorry, creeper, that people are
Sorry.
preaching the idea of this plus that plus this is what creates a hacker. That, owning these specific things. I've said it a couple times. This is the, short list of things that we see all the time. Should I buy Hack 5 tools? My hacker then? Should I... Like, OnlyRat. We've brought up OnlyRat a couple times. Let's bring it up again. How many people have come into the server so far and said, hey, this isn't working without reading the documentation?
Quite a few.
That's what I'm talking about. They see a video, they see a tool, they say, oh, that works, that's something that I would like to be able to do. And if it just worked right out of the box without any sort of configuration, how many of those people would still claim they're a hacker? That's what I'm
Ladies
talking
and
about.
gentlemen,
Yeah.
RTFM.
And what I'm saying is, that's the problem, is that so many people are okay with just being able to get a tool to run, and it doing what the tool is designed to do, and they don't understand why it works, but they're okay calling themselves a hacker for that reason. With just the fact that, oh, this tool ran, a tool I did not build, and a tool I don't understand. And I'm not saying that you have to build every tool you use, but I'm saying if you are going to use a tool, and it's something you plan to use fairly often, understand the principle behind it. The reason the Wi-Fi pineapple works, how many people in this chat can say they know how the Wi-Fi pineapple works? Every bit of it. I wouldn't say every bit, but the Wi-Fi hacking principles of it, I can tell you I do understand that.
Right.
And that's what I'm getting at, is that I feel more people need to stop worrying about the logos, brands, and this and that, and kind of take on the hacker mentality, not the hacker's gear. I think that needs to change.
I agree.
I agree, 100%.
Yep.
It's the exact case in point that you were talking about with the tools, and like you don't have to build your own and whatnot, but it goes back to me with Cryptex. Like I started Cryptex because it was just something fun, and it spawned from a simple question: can I do this? And now look at me. Like I still say that it's basic because I'm always going to be my own worst enemy. But then you get somebody like Shepard who'll turn around and be like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!"
Yeah. I mean,
But-
it is.
That appreciation from Shepard comes because he understands what it takes to do that thing. I feel like that's one of the big issues, is that, especially criticism. Cosmo, how much criticism do you get on videos from people who you would definitely say were uninformed in the situation?
Oh, definitely. 110%.
They don't understand
The
what
racist ones or the normal ones?
Yes.
Just yes.
Just in general, I mean, how many people come in and insult you on your choice to do one method versus another?
Oh, plenty of times. Click on the Wi-Fi pineapple tutorial video. Scroll to the comment section.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. People who don't understand the full appreciation of what goes into it. And yeah, I mean, even if you do it manually, you're going to find flaws like this. And especially when you do... So the Wi-Fi pineapple, going back to what I was saying about it being kind of just open the box, powered up, and it's ready to go. Wi-Fi handshake capturing in its basic form is simplistic. When you're looking at just the idea of
Capturing that.
de-authenticating, capturing the handshake when it comes back, that is a simple property. But there's so many more different types of attacks. But we have to look at the fact you have to automate, like, the channels. You have to look at, automate, the different devices that are connecting back. It's interesting. And that tool does sometimes get it wrong. I don't hold it on the pineapple for sometimes getting that wrong. And I think that's another thing. People aren't appreciating like what's actually going into the projects that people are working on, the amount of time it takes. I mean, we looked at packet capturing last night. We got real in depth into the Wireshark stuff when we were working with Nightshade.
Yeah.
Nightshade didn't just say, okay, hey, I'm gonna search real quick for passwords inside of this Wireshark handshake capture. Did research, went through, and knew that these are the two most common types of hash exchanges within Cisco devices. Knew that this is the way that this communication would come from, and let's track this particular stream as it goes. And from there, he was able to find these different handshakes, and even when he started to question whether the tools were accurate or not, we were able to come up with ways to verify that the tools were accurate when we were doing it. But that didn't come just because he downloaded Wireshark, opened it up, and searched passwords within Wireshark. There had to be an actual understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so if he wouldn't have pulled anything from that, like the original file that we pulled up, if he didn't pull anything from that, none of us were going to question that because we all understand what goes into that. You know, you can only capture data that happens on the network when you're scanning in Wireshark like that. So if something didn't pop up there, it's not because he wasn't good enough to capture it. It was that it didn't happen in that instance.
Yeah.
And that's something that you see a lot. Is just criticism from people who don't understand, from a very deep lack of understanding. And it irritates me, honestly, so much that there's so many people willing to kind of throw shade on what people are doing without understanding it themselves and without ever taking the dive into it. Some people who sit at surface level and don't push forward on their own projects, but will sit there and call other people out on theirs. And I know this episode has kind of been, you know, rants about this and that and the third, but I mean, this is just stuff I see all the time in the server, and it bothers me that there are people who come here and just expect somebody to wave a magic wand and make them a hacker.
Oh, definitely. I'll add on to that. So one of the key things that Cosmodium is trying to do as a cybersecurity education company is, well, obviously, A, to promote, you know, cybersecurity education, but B, to kind of like put people in the right space when it comes to hacking. We often, Monty, how many times have people, you know, DM'd you as an admin of the server asking, how do I hack? That's simple. How can I hack?
I mean, it happens quite often. I mean, we
Right.
even at one point took someone under our wing specifically. I mean, I took them
Yeah.
under, tried to get them
No,
going.
and there's nothing wrong with asking that question. That's a great question to ask. How do you get started? That's a perfectly reasonable question that makes sense. The only problem with the question is like, there's cybersecurity is so big, right? I am a malware developer. I'm a cryptographer. So, and can I hack? Yeah, I've hacked, you know, web servers before. I've done this, that, and the third. But people have kind of this mindset when they first enter, that like Mr. Robot, you know, Watch Dogs mindset of just like, you know, slap your keyboard, you know, and, you know, you're root. So we obviously, you know, we're here to help them. You know, we're a security education company. We're here to, hey, let's, you know, get you started. And Cosmodium now is actually setting up a kind of like curriculum path people can take to get started learning how to hack, learning the basics, computer science, all of that, so that way they can become in a position where they know how to, quote, hack, and can actually start, you know, getting into like special areas of where they can put their skills into use. I think the problem is that, you know, it's like, I don't know how to describe this. It's like they have, I guess it's the mindset.
I think I can help you explain it a little bit.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
So you brought up how many people have come in and asked us, you know, how do you start hacking? And that's a good question. But the problem is how many people, after you give them answers, will stick around. And
Right.
it's when they see the work you have to put in. When they see that it's not just,
It's
you
not
know,
easy.
do this one thing or watch this one video or this one course and suddenly you know how to hack everything. It feels like so many people are shying away from the idea of learning it and really wanting to get in and really wanting to experience what a hacker is. And it's not for everybody. It's not. I mean, the amount of hours that you put into learning something, the amount of documentation you go through, the amount of time you spend looking at something so long that you're tired, that you're making obvious mistakes, but you are just so hell-bent on finishing this one thing.
You will copy paste commands so much.
You will copy paste commands. I mean, you'll experiment with different distros. I mean, most of us are using security-based distros, but at this point, at this point, I've gotten away from security distros, not because I don't like the security distros, but because I find that there's more functionality and more use case in my own customization area.
Oh yeah, same thing with John Hammond. He uses Ubuntu. Same way you, right?
Yeah, I'm on Ubuntu right now.
Okay, my bad.
I feel like people need to explore. People need to be ready to put in work, and people need to understand that it's going to suck. Like, this is a hobby, but like any hobby, you don't just wake up and amazing at it. Like, nobody picks up golf and, you know, hole in one in every hole the first time they swing their clubs. Like, that's unrealistic. You gotta put in time. I bet you did.
I did, he says.
Yeah, he said I did.
But what I'm getting at is, like, people aren't putting in the time. And that's what makes me sad, really, is to see that so many people see it because hacking is cool. When you're part of the community, like it's amazing. I mean, some of the people that are here,
It's cool
you
when I
guys,
explain it to them.
yeah, I mean, it's always cool. Like, I like the ability to know without a doubt that I know this thing, and even when I don't know it, knowing that there is a way for me to learn it, and that if I don't know it, I can also go to somebody else who will explain it to me because I know how to ask the questions I want answered. Because I've learned this community, because we took the time to kind of build what we wanted to see in Cosmodium. But there's just so many people who are shying away from it because of those reasons. It's not, it's not easy to do off the bat. You can't just buy the Hack 5 tool and become a master of all things.
There is no press a button and become a hacker of time and space like Hackerman.
Well, that's actually kind of where Hack 5 or the something like the Wi-Fi pineapple comes into this. You're saying there's no magic button that turns you into a hacker. But then there are these types of devices that kind of...
Right, the pineapple is, and that's what I was bringing up earlier, is that it is the magic button, and when that magic button doesn't work, that's when all the people who rely on the magic button start complaining. And that's whenever the actual wants to fix things get, almost covered up by the actual... Or that's when the actual, suggestions for fixes get, kind of covered up by just the masses of, this product doesn't work, it sucks. And so I think that's the big thing. From the Nano to the Tetra, I think it gained a lot of ground. I think it went a different way in the amount of adaptation it had. I think the amount of ground that it, gained from the Nano to what we have as the Mark 7 today changed, and I feel like their way of going about it did. I mean, think about it this way. The Nano never had a single hardware mod other than extra antennas, like different types of antennas.
Mm.
The Mark 7 came with the whole, moddable case, designable thing, and that's cool, for the people who want it, but that's not practical. It doesn't make it to where you capture more handshakes. It doesn't make anything special. It just feels like it's adding, glitter to something. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest eye-opening thing when it comes to it, is that's kind of the big first warning sign. It's a cool idea. It's a cool concept, making your tools custom to you. That's always fun, but when it becomes this generic customization across everything, then I feel like it lost its mark.
Mm.
For my first hardware customization, I slapped a piece of aluminum foil onto my antenna for my Alpha card, and I was able to pick up signals further away.
Remember the old
That's
Pringles
awesome.
can?
The Pringles
Yep.
can, yes.
How many of you guys have built Pringles can antennas, by the
I
way?
have, yes.
I haven't, but I think it's the same concept.
It is, yeah, just using a tube to directionally focus the signals.
I first saw that shit on Mr. Robot. I'm like, I'm building that.
I did too. I did it while I was on deployment.
Gotcha.
I did a lot of things in Europe, and I think that was one of the fun parts about learning it, was that I was in a new place in general, so there was nothing... it was all new.
New place, new me.
Alright, make it basic, why don't you?
Hold on, let me go get my triple caramel macchiato real quick.
I'll
No,
pick up my
no.
MacBook real quick.
It's my quad
Whoa.
shot venti SVT in a cup.
Oh, yeah. My favorite flavor.
What is it? Heart attack in a cup? Or, yeah, literally SVT in a cup.
Do you guys ever think we'll outgrow that period in which we see, hacking as a trend, or...
What do you
I
mean?
feel like it's here to stay.
I feel like Mr. Robot made it that way. Watch Dogs made it that way. I think people who are in the community love to see content made around hacking, especially stuff like Mr. Robot, where it was accurate hacking, too.
Mm.
But I feel like that also made people who were completely oblivious to it, seeing the action, the sexiness behind it and everything, it brought them towards this community. But I feel like it's being flooded with people who have that mentality of Mr. Robot. Do you think we'll ever see that fall, or do you think that'll be something that sticks around for a while?
I think it'll rise and fall like most things, but I think it's here to stay for a while. Hacking
Can I
is
coin a
so
term?
prevalent currently, especially with The Ukraine-Russia conflict. I know I can't say too much about it because, YouTube. But just the fact, with those current events going on, and cybersecurity and cyber warfare, hybrid warfare, it's becoming more and more prevalent. Cybersecurity is practically becoming one of the new, more vital industries, I would say, within modern day. And then there's also just general trends. You said what?
The military industrial complex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there's also the the aspect of just hacking trends in general. For example, John Hammond, he was doing malware analysis videos for a while, and there was this huge upspike in the malware, interest. And lucky for me as a malware developer, I got to kind of ride that wave for a second, but but I think that it does become especially prevalent, especially with like those trends, and you'll see like trends of just hacking like related content and such. So I like to say it's here to stay for a little bit.
Can I coin a term real quick? We keep kind of over explaining like the video games and the movies and TV shows that have this portrayal of hackers. Can we just call it romanticized hacking?
Romanticized hacking? Seki hacking?
No, because it's like this notion that you have in your head that like, oh, this is so cool. Like, just like you said earlier, you slap your keyboard and you're root. No. I mean, mine works like that, but that's because,
I was waiting for you to say something.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, my hacking's that good, but...
No, I didn't say my hacking was that good. I just said my laptop's broken enough I can slap my keyboard and it'll enter my password.
So I already know, like, a lot of people have mixed opinions about, the subjects of, we're kind of talking about. But I think it's very important and kind of vital and, true. I think that, like, all the stuff that we're talking about, especially as, like, a newcomer, is kind of intimidating because you're now like, all right, so now how do I start? And, like, the right way, right? And it's weird because I don't know if there is a right way because it's like, I got into hacking because I got trolled. I got pranked by a bunch of college students, and next thing you know, I know malware. But when it comes to like things outside of that orientation, it's different. It definitely is different. I'm just trying to see like.
I would say we need to just get off these copy and paste paths. Hacking is not about following this trail to be like to claim the title. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. We're trying to check boxes and say this is what you need to know to be a hacker. But I don't really know web servers very well. I really don't. But I play with a lot of AD stuff. AD is probably my main focus when it comes to attacking, just because that's
for
something
those who
I
don't
have a
know,
lot
Active Directory.
Yes, Active Directory. Sorry, but does that make me any less of a hacker compared to somebody who does know a lot more web server stuff than me? Or like that's what hacking is. It's understanding something so well you can do things with it. And I think we need to get off that. You have to know this. You have to know that. You set yourself up. You claim that goal whenever you feel you are a hacker. You will be challenged in what you claim you know. I mean, a lot of the community likes to, not even just because we want to say you're wrong, but because we want to have intelligent conversations about these things. We want to know more about these things. And whenever you claim to know something and fall flat in that, if you fall flat a little bit, we'll say, hey, go study up. But if you claim, I can hack any web server, but, all you know to do is check robots.txt because in this one CTF it worked. Like, that's not.
I just had one correction for you. It's, you have to know this right now. Sips coffee.
Like I said,
saying.
But I think that needs to be a shift, and I think that's looking at Cosmodium's content.
Yep.
Say you only take one class. Say you take what class is Nightshade about to do? What is that? What is he actually calling it? I guess what is the generalized topic?
It's I guess Windows malware internals is the best way to describe it with Python. Yeah.
Okay, so say you take his Windows internal malware course, and then from there you take that knowledge, and you go further with it. Just because you don't know web servers, because you can't hack Wi-Fi, because you don't understand three-way handshakes, that doesn't make you not a hacker. Focus in your area. Do what you want to do. That hacking doesn't have to be a requirement of knowing X topics or X amount of things. It's about curiosity. It's a mindset, not a series of events, quests that you have to complete. Oh, actually, Shepard just got done with his findings of the OSINT stuff. So for those who don't know, before the podcast started, I wanted Shepard to start with my username and see what all he can find. There's been a couple things that I've asked that he didn't share, but it sounds like he's ready. If you guys are cool with Shepard jumping in here and sharing that.
Yeah, Shepard can come in here.
Let's see it. For those of you who don't remember, Shepard was on during the last episode of the podcast. Shepard is building his own tool, Shepard. And he...
appropriately named.
Yeah, we went over some of the effects of OSINT and some of the different ways in which he's collected data and some of the ways that he has found to pull that data, hide his data to make himself a little more secure just from being OSINTed himself. But, I've challenged myself. I used to think that I kept a pretty tight circle on my data, and I've loosened up a little bit since joining Cosmodium just because I've kind of made myself a public figure. But I'm interested in seeing what all he can find and seeing what he's found through it all, so... hold on a second. Let me see if I can jump in.
I definitely would like to learn malware better, how to develop it. At its fundamentals, malware is just programming, just with malintent. So it's not too hard to get started.
Yeah, if you're doing some stuff with Python, it's literally just a package you can import.
Yeah.
It's also. I had a thought that just poofed.
ADHD, much?
Yes, indeed. My constant suffrage.
Yeah.
Going back to the malware thing that he brought up right now, malware is understanding the operating system well enough to, take care or to abuse some of the flaws that are built within it. I mean, first step to malware would be understanding the system and then picking up a language to interact with that system.
Preferably a native language.
Preferably a native language, but if you need to, something like Python with Iron Python would work. That is something that we've talked about before, and I bet that malware course will cover a lot with Iron Python, especially. That's one of those tools that...
Well, so that's the thing, right? Because Iron Python actually technically is native because it's just the syntax of Python, but transferred into like C#, I believe.
I thought it was .NET, wasn't it?
Or .NET Assembly, I think, something like that. Yeah, I think it's .NET Assembly. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that is something I am trying to learn now. That's good. How are you going? What's your kind of process in learning that so far? Do we have bones?
Break it till you make it. That's the best way to put the process.
Do you need bones?
No, I got some.
Oh, okay, so I got a bunch. Did you figure out that tree farm?
Maybe.
I'm waiting to see if Shepard's going to come on and share it or not. He may decide he wants to, may decide he doesn't want to, depending on what all he's found.
Is maybe the ceiling's too low?
Too short that it's not reaching the tree or the trunk. Okay.
What am I trying to do with my trees? I'm trying to make a little tree farm in here so that we don't have to keep going outside. But
Yeah, we want to not go outside as much as we
There's
can.
creepers
yes,
out
we
there.
want to live. We want to live in this cave. I want to be like Batman. From your site and my friend who went to school from cybersecurity. Oh, so you're on the site? Yeah. Right now, there's a malware course in development. I should get you started. Needs to be 9 blocks tall. Thank you. I wish I knew that before I just did all this.
She did that. I didn't. I mean, she's definitely smarter than I am at that.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, harkening back to whenever I started
1,
with
2,
Cosmo
3,
so many
4,
ages
5.
ago. No, I said harkening back to whenever I started Cosmodium so many ages ago now.
A week.
When you started Cosmodium.
Literally a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I got into a voice call one night out of total happenstance with Cosmo, and I was just like going on to him about how like I feel like we have all these YouTubers and whatnot, influencers, I guess you could call them at this point, who only show the good sides. Like they don't show the failures, they don't show what it takes to be able to do this stuff. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Cosmos streams is that he will literally sit there on a stream and beat his head against the wall for 4 or 5 hours trying to figure something out. Which leads up to that like climactic moment of figuring out the thing that he's trying to figure out. That's what we need. We need to be able to see the failures and the triumphs.
Oh wow. Shepard just sent me over that data. He's not going to come into the server and explain it, but what he got was actually like, it's less than I thought it was going to be, but it's some of it's more than I thought he would.
Gotcha.
Let me.
Before you continue,
go ahead.
I just want to. Can I just interject something? I'll just be gone for 10 minutes.
That's fine. So to add on to Sai's point, first of all, yeah, appreciate it. And I saw Edge left a little message in the chat saying it makes me human. Thanks. But I think it's like I don't know. It's not that I do it intentionally. I just kind of do it because I'm too lazy to edit. But I think it's good to show that side of the content. I think it's like life or programming is not like slapstick easy and such. It's kind of like it's a process. And like trying to problem solve and such. I actually wanted to teach a course on problem solving. I would love to teach that course, but I am lazy, so. But no, I think it's really important to kind of see like the real sides of hacking, kind of understand like, hey, when people are getting, here's the thing. This is what I was trying to say earlier, but I forgot. It can be demotivating. That's what I was going to say. When you're trying to get into hacking and you have this image of hacking of where it's really easy and it's like you just run these tools that do the job for you, you're not gaining any experience. You're not getting that skill set that's going to help you in the future. Like if you're I'll even use an example from Mr. Robot to show this. Literally, it's like the first episode, I think, maybe the second, when E-Corp's like the whole DDoS thing that happened, right? And he has to fly out to wherever the server room is and connect up and stuff. When he connected to that server, Metasploit isn't on that server, Mmap isn't on that server. He's just connected to it on his laptop, SSH. So he had to use like Vim to edit files. He had to use like stuff that is proprietary default installed on the server. And had to fix, whatever issues that he had to fix, removing the rootkit. And he did it, right? He didn't just have, rootkit uninstaller.py and, throw it onto the server and run it. It was like, he had that skill set, that understanding of like how to navigate through a server, what tools that are there available to him, to use to his advantage, and that understanding. And I think that same thing kind of applies to, I guess, not just my streams and such, but just like hacking. Like you need to learn those skill sets, because if you're just using, these tools and such, which you are perfectly allowed to use tools, definitely use tools. Just learn from them, try to build your own. I think it was Soul maybe, or maybe it was Fly Guy or someone. I don't know. They're building their own rat. And they were inspired off of OnlyRat. Awesome. I'd love to do that. Send me the code. Show me your progress. I would love, to even promote it, showcase it on the YouTube channel. If you want to showcase your code on the YouTube channel, DM me, man. Let's do this, right? I'm always open to collabs. But I think that like when you have tools like that, and you have it like so automated and so easy, it takes away from your learning experience. Like if you gave someone like an alpha adapter who's only had experience hacking with, let's say the Wi-Fi pineapple, they may have a lot of difficulty trying to crack, Wi-Fi passwords or trying to capture Wi-Fi handshakes with just the card. And that's kind of like the point that everyone here is trying to get at, is like they need, to not have it just be so easy, but need to learn those fundamentals. And that has nothing, in my honest opinion, that has nothing against the Wi-Fi pineapple. I think that's honestly against the user. I think that if they want, to get that, access, they should do that, because the Wi-Fi pineapple was intended for penetration testers. It was intended for people who are in the industry to use, to automate their workflow and such. So I think that when it comes to like something like that, that's kind of out of our control if people who are new to the security industry are jumping into tools like that. But again, I don't know. That's kind of just correlated. But I'll kind of segue now, unless if anyone else has anything to say about that. I'll segue to Motzi and his data leak.
No, I mean, I don't have anything further to say about it. I mean, I think you're right. I think we shouldn't blame Hack5 for creating a tool that's so good that it automates it. I think we should blame the people who are comfortable with just owning a device that does it for them without actually understanding what's going on. That's really a flaw on them, not a flaw on the device. But, I mean, anybody else got to say anything before we move forward?
Guess not.
Okay, so, I gave Shepard my username, told him to see what she can find. Out of the information Shepard was able to find, Shepard was able to pull a estimate of my age ranging from 22 to 24, which technically I am within that range. Military history, yes. My email that I do use, my old one that's kind of assigned to just my generic, like YouTube and my personal stuff, that's there. Got the state correct, but afterwards there wasn't really too much more information, so essentially I was able to find approximate age range, the fact that I was in the military, an email address, and just that I lived in the state of Texas. Viewing through the server, he did find references to Operation Atlantic Resolve, which for anybody who has talked to me in the server knows that was the last deployment I went on, or the last mission that I was on when I was deployed, so... I mean, he didn't find too much. There were certain things that he found more of than I thought he would, but there was other things that I, thought he would find. I don't know if that makes sense. I thought he would find for sure the city I lived in. I definitely figured that was going to be something that came up. The military history, I figured that one was going to come up pretty easily, but I'm actually surprised that he was actually able to find references to Atlantic Resolve, involving me. That was a cool one. But, I mean, yeah, seems like I've got a little tightening to do, but for the most part, it looks like I'm good.
Gotcha.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
That's actually a good point. Michaela just sent me a DM. And she said, going off this conversation, it's the same idea as math. You have to learn how to solve the problem by hand before you can move to a calculator.
Yeah, that's.
I think that was probably
perfect.
the best way it could have been said.
That is the perfect example I have heard all day. What the hell?
That's awesome.
If she wants to hop on the podcast, she totally can.
Yeah. Edge, you can talk if you like. I mean, if you've got any, even if I know it's security based and it's not really your territory, but if you want to talk about just something like that, that's fine.
No,
Mike.
Oh, good. But yeah, I think that's totally correct. It's like how you have to use calculate, or you have to use learn how to do the math, before you actually just go to a calculator. Works exactly the same way. And
real quick, for the takeaway of this conversation, I don't want everybody to think that I'm shaming them for using tools, and
I use like Metasploit and stuff.
Yeah, everybody does, but
yeah.
The idea is what I want people to take away from this is understand the principle behind what you're using. Don't just use it because it works. Use it because it works and you know what it's doing. Actually, there's one last question I want to ask, and it goes to Scythe. Scythe, last night, why did you switch your project you're working on? what cipher was it that you were working on? You ended up switching to a different method that you learned of.
Oh yeah, the Caesar cipher. So before I started with Cosmodium, I was actually doing the 100 Days of Code Python course on Udemy, and they taught us a Caesar cipher through that, which just it didn't work as good. It also didn't have the ability to encrypt and decrypt right from one single Python code with only 4 lines of code. So basically, it was just I felt like the version that I had worked on last night was better, but I am going to keep the original in there, probably just as like an Easter egg. So if you manage to find the command somewhere, like, it's my first Easter egg. Yeah, if you manage to find the command somewhere in documentation, it'll still pop up. It just won't be readily apparent on the menu.
Gotcha.
But the only real benefit of my version of the original Caesar cipher that I did was that you could use atrocious you could use atrocious keys, shift keys on it. Like almost any number that you could possibly think of, you could apply to a shift key.
Gotcha.
Which to a degree, I guess, makes it more secure, but at the same time, you're doing redundancy because you've only got 25 letters to work with.
Right. 2 things. One, speaking of Easter eggs, I won't spoil them, but there are Easter eggs on the Cosmodium CS website. So if you guys are avid hackers, I'm sure you guys can find a lot of the Easter eggs on the website.
Inspect element.
I'm gonna just leave it. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But
I can't help that I'm such a good hacker, dude. I
still haven't got the one done yet.
I'm gonna read some of the chat real quick. So we actually have one of the Happy Hacker members in here. If you guys aren't familiar with the Happy Hacker program, it's actually, you know what? Let me just roll the clip.
Did you actually roll the clip right now? Or?
I was gonna say I'm here too.
All right. Well, I don't think I have the clip actually on my computer, so I'm gonna just talk about it for a second. So the Happy Hacker site plan is a plan I think where you can support for like $1 a month, and basically, it's a pretty cool plan. Basically, you guys get access to exclusive videos, courses, articles. The knowledge base is just like a big library of just documents and stuff related to cybersecurity. And you guys access to an exclusive group where you guys can directly contact me or talk to each other. It's kind of like a Discord channel or like a Facebook group, but specifically for Happy Hacker members. It's pretty cool. We have one of the members in the Discord channel now, and they're working on some malware stuff. Pretty cool. But yeah, definitely check that out.
Yeah, I joined the Happy Hacker program on like day 3, I think.
I get my first paycheck. I just got a new job, so I get that. Maybe I'll also join that.
Maybe understand basics.
But it's like the main reason I'm here is because
Oh, that's a great question.
What was the question?
So one of the hacker member in the channel said, people always say the basics, but there seem to be an overwhelming amount of the basics. So what are the basics?
Well, I mean, I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. There isn't a specific checklist of things. The basics to you can be whatever you want to learn. I mean, when people talk about hacking, obviously they're basing the basics off of what's in CTFs. What are the most common hacks that you run into? And I think that's where the real list of where the basics comes from. Oops, so I just sent the wrong thing into the wrong chat, and that is personal identifiable information I don't want out there.
Right.
Sorry, the list of what we consider the basics, I really feel came from what is attacked in CTFs. You know, web pages, stuff like that comes from, CTFs. Not that those attacks don't happen in the wild, but, the idea of needing to know brute forcing. Realistically, I've never used brute forcing outside of a CTF. I don't think I really ever have, just because it's not really an effective way of doing it. I mean, when you look at the fact you have to use a word list, which means you have to know the person well enough to do that, which I mean, you can combine that social engineering aspect and do that, but really, I think that's where that list comes from. You know, like things like Mr. Robot, the CTF box. Everything that we've talked about is more or less like covered in that one box. Everything that's considered the basics, that is your basics right there. Here's how you do your scanning. Here's how you do, you know, your actual exploitation, your directory enumeration using GoBuster or DirdBuster, whatever you want to use. WordPress scan or whatever that tool is that you can attack WordPress sites with. All these different stuff, I feel like what's considered the basics of like your what I was talking about earlier, your Instagram model hacker. That comes from the material that's put out for people to practice on. But when you want to get into it, what are the basics? Well, say I don't want to learn web hacking. Say I don't want to learn any of this. Say you only want to play with software-defined radio. Say you only want to play with ham radio stuff. You want to play with antennas and radio communications between satellites. Well, your basics are going to be completely different than somebody who's following. Shepard wants me to tell everybody about his OSINT prowess, and so I think we all understand his OSINT prowess, which is good. But getting back to what I was saying, like that start is a much different start from somebody who's, focused in Wi-Fi. Okay, what are the basics for starting Wi-Fi? Well, first, I would say understanding how the protocol works, why the protocol does what it does, and then from there, that's when you can start toying with it. Once you understand why the protocol does what it does and how it reacts to certain things and different stimuli, I guess is the best way to put it, then you can start hacking on it. Then you can start playing and toying with it, but there really isn't a basics other than the hacker checklist that I've been kind of telling people to stay away from. I don't know if that clarifies what you're talking about, or if that just kind of is me furthering my rant.
No, I think, like, to add on to kind of what you're saying, so we got some more questions in here, but real quick, I think that when it comes to the basics, what Cosmodium really is trying to do is kind of create some sort of kind of path, like a path that you can follow to get started. Because that's what's most important, right? Getting started, so that way you kind of know where you want to go. Because I know, realistically speaking, a lot of people don't know where they want to go. They might be, like, when people say they want to be an engineer, there are, like, literally, like, hundreds of thousands of different types of engineers. Not even all of them having to do with computer science. Some of them can be doing with civil engineering, aquatic engineering, different nuclear engineering. Like, there are all so many different types of engineering. So it's kind of hard to say, hey, I just want to be an engineer, right? And the same thing does go for cybersecurity, right? You can go into, like, cryptography. You can go to red teaming, blue teaming, penetration testing, cybercrime analytics. So many different fields. So what Cosmodium really is trying to do is actually kind of put people into a place of where they know the basics, they know the fundamentals, and we can kind of have an area of where you can start learning about all these other fields. Start learning more about whatever, I guess, fields you want to get into. I mean, I suppose
the different way of applying the knowledge that you know.
Yeah. It's funny to me how I chose to do YouTube as a profession, and I can't even speak, my own language very well. English is actually my second language, if you guys didn't know.
It's okay. I chose to be a sysadmin, and I can barely network. So, who's really the idiot here?
I'll read some more of the questions in here. What do you think about black hats? I think it is kind of, not, I want to say disgusting, but it is sad. Hacking should be used more as a, white hat approach, to secure things. Black hat is very, I'm more supportive of gray hats than I am black hats. Like, something like an anonymous, I can actually see, like, something like a backing to support something like that, right? Even if you don't participate in it, you can actually, like, respect, hey, they're willing to do the bad stuff for the good. But when people are just stealing from people and, like, using hacking for bad, I personally find it disgusting, but that's my stance. Anyone else want to add on?
No, I agree. I think that obviously there's always going to be bad people in the world. I mean, people decide to do bad things for a bunch of different reasons, but I mean, especially in this community, I think anybody who's here knows that we build malware, but we're not building malware for the sake of destroying companies. That's not what we're building these features for. We're building all these as proof of concepts to show what can happen, and really what we're trying to teach you guys is the different forms in which malware will take, what to look for when it's there. Only Rat's not meant to be, after you watch the stream, download the new copy and go and use it against your friends to, blackmail. It's meant to, okay, well, my computer got a weird virus. Well, what is it doing? Well, it's doing this. Well, that seems to match the pattern of this. So maybe I should also look out for signs of this. I think people are kind of twisting what should be creating a defense system and almost like a, what am I looking for? Immunity. Like an immunity to cyber attacks. People are taking that and abusing it. And it's kind of given the title hacker a bad name as well. I mean, when you look at what because they claim they're hackers. Everybody on CNN and whatever news networks are popular. I don't know. I don't watch the news. Whatever, they're always claiming, it's the hackers. It's the hackers. Well, no, it's criminals using hacker tools. And I kind of mentioned a little bit about that, and that's the way I felt with it earlier when I said, to steal the mindset, not the tools.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. If you're going to steal something from hackers, steal the mindset, the creativity, the wonder for how something works. Not just the tools.
Yeah. Anyone else have opinions on Black Hat, or should I move on to the next question? All right, cool. Next question. I started with learning Linux to say, as well. Gents. All right, have a good night. Nice seeing you.
Who was saying good night to?
Us. Oh, he's saying, you said good night to us because he's leaving. The tree farm works.
Finally.
Yes.
Fascinating.
I know. Oh, that's what I was getting. I was getting ladders. I went all the way downstairs to try to remember what I was getting.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay, I thought we were... the conversation shifted for a second. I thought we weren't live anymore.
I'm making like
Best question of the night. Are we still live?
Next question: are we still live? But no, if you guys have any questions for us, definitely let us know.
Yeah, we definitely have to hear more.
The guy got locked up for looking up source code. Source code for what?
Oh, he's talking about Weave. So, well, let me.
I did not hear about this.
It's an older situation. I think it's AT&T had their email servers. Whenever you would go to sign into your email, before you enter your password, if you look at the top, similar to how Cosmodium's website does, you can browse a profile based on the username.
Yeah.
They did it by ID, so you could go through there and just add, 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha.
And it would cycle to the next email. So people were able to go through and just generate an entire list of all the customers of this site, which, it's a big deal, but at the same time, it's kind of not really a big deal. I mean, I don't feel it is. Information can pretty easily be publicly scraped. I mean, Shepard just did it for me individually.
Yeah.
Really, the idea of getting an attack list for an entire group of people based on just the usage of a product, I can see that being a problem, but I think really the danger is the ability to search up a single person's stuff and be able to generate, an attack or a profile on that person based on that information. Oh, I needed the wheat. The wheat.
Wheat.
Wheat?
Wheat. Oh, there it is. I don't know, any other topics, any other questions that have come through so far?
You said any other what now?
Any other questions? I mean, anybody else bringing up anything and want to know anything?
That seemed to be it from chat for now.
All right. Does anybody here have any, things they want to bring up or anything you want to talk about? Any
Like
new...
talk about the wheat.
We're not talking about the wheat. But stuff like, was there any new tools or new hacks?
I would like to mention that Callie was the first Linux operating system I've used
I-
actually.
I'd like to mention that I use Arch.
That's funny.
Just for that, Soul, you're fired.
I was never hired in
do
the first
that.
place.
Hey, you want a job?
One
Sure.
internship.
Well, you're
You're
fired.
fired.
Well, SpongeBob on
You
you.
can't cancel me. People have been trying for ages.
Wow.
What do you have to do to breed horses in the
Mate,
game, not in real life? I don't want to
Mate.
restrict.
mate.
Yeah,
I think you have to use wheat or hay,
I tried wheat, but it didn't work.
carrots maybe, apples,
Apples? I hope it's not apples. I don't have apples.
apples to apples.
Does anybody in chat know what you need to breed horses in Minecraft?
In Minecraft, specification on the in
Yeah.
Minecraft.
I'm going to specify that because I know somebody's going to send me some weird ass links, and I don't want them.
It might be apples, but I haven't played in a while.
Holy Pegasus! Is that you?
Who was that?
Yeah, that was me.
Man, it's been a. You scared me. I didn't realize you were here.
Who?
Yeah,
Who's
I
that?
clandestinely joined the VC.
It's Pegasus. You know the Beyblade.
That's not where I got the name, but thank you.
I know.
He got it from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not gonna say that. I'll say it after.
What?
What did I just say, Monty? What did I just say? I said I would say it after. Pegasus. I remember the username. Give me a memory that we share.
A memory that we share.
Yes, mate.
Probably camping on a hard floor one weekend out of the month.
Oh yeah, got you. I remember that. I was like, "Who's the Pegasus?" I swear I know that nickname.
He from.
Just so you know, we're live streaming on YouTube. So
Yeah, that's how I knew you guys were here.
I got you.
Oh, cool.
You sound so much different, mate.
Oh, really? Do I sound that much different?
Yes,
Or do I just have a radio voice?
both. For those of you who don't know, this is my mate from Cadets.
You have a face for radio and a voice for TV.
Word. How about you? I know you talking about that you were getting into some kind of security stuff. You want to talk about your whole security background or
Yeah, let's hear about your plan.
what you're working on and such?
Who, me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a software engineering student. I coded in Java.
That's
I do
totally
not-
fine.
Do not
Working
know
on cool
much
projects?
about this cybersecurity stuff. That's partly why I joined the server. Kind of wanted to dip my toes in.
It's all good. You working on any projects and such?
Not a whole lot right now, just because I'm trying to do gen ed classes and not fail calculus.
Oh yeah, love that.
So, what have you? I guess, where are you falling on the cybersecurity side of it so far? You said you're just starting out and everything. You seeing anything in the industry? You having trouble getting your way in? I guess. What is your view, being new to all this?
Well, I still want my degree in software engineering, so like programming stuff. But I'm in just kind of secondhand interested in cybersecurity, just because there's similar to software engineering. It's going to be there's hardly ever not a job opening for stuff like this,
True.
especially in most recent history. So I just kind of want to get a little of both worlds. Although
That's
I'm
solid.
mainly on the programming side of things.
That's good.
Had
That's
to
good.
do discrete math 2 times. Yeah, I remember you crying about that. I very vividly remember that.
We're actually having consistent food now, which is good.
Yes. You cry. Yeah, you cry a lot now.
Damn. Damn,
But,
that sounds like a you problem for real.
It really is.
I'm still
That's
technically a student.
true. That's true. She's still taking her teacher certificate, so she's technically still a teacher or a student.
Gotcha.
Oh, what the? Dude, there's a random skeleton hanging out on our roof who just jumped down and tried to like ambush me.
Did it die just from the fall?
He nearly died. I mean, I hit him once with my sword, but
You guys
it's hard
wanna
to
Oh
see-
yeah, you guys
This
have
looks
like
really
OC
cool.
swords, and I have like a
You fucking-
spoon. Yeah, sure. Let's see something cool.
Alright, follow me. I mean, Monty's already going over there, but
I freaking love this. I love this so much.
Yo, I just heard like 30 sheep. What?
yeah. Well, there's some sheep up here,
Are
but
there?
that's not what. Yeah,
Huh.
but this is what I wanted to show you.
Oh, shoot, it's the crib. It's the crib right here, mate. What the
Yeah.
heck? Dang. This is like that. Nice job, Soul.
Yeah, seriously, this is awesome.
I kind of just found this like corner up here. I thought that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah,
Where's-
nah, this is the crib right here.
Where's the exit like to get out of? Because I know we had a second exit. There was-
Yeah, yeah.
the
So,
stairs.
so here, I'll give you a tour. So, on the second floor here, this is
Oh,
where we
you
have
made
the
a
animals
farm,
over.
animal farm. Got you.
Yeah, and over here, this is the exit. So if you have
Let me see
animals
if
that
I
you
can
want to
look for
like, you're going the wrong way, Cosmo.
Oh, I was going down. My bad. Where we going?
This way.
I finally got my mule.
Oh,
Bred 'em.
what?
Yeah. So if you guys want to bring animals down into the cave and you don't really know how, you can go through this like cave entrance.
Oh, mate. Y'all
Oh,
are
rip-
cool as heck, bro. What the
Hey.
heck?
Hey, by the way, guys, there's another beehive right here. It's one of the artificial ones, so please don't break it. It will make the bees.
Yeah,
very
I
angry.
saw it earlier, and then I was
Okay.
like, That's cool.
I've got a pretty good stash of honey going on now.
Word.
Actually, I got a bunch of honeycomb right now.
Damn, we actually got like a crib going on here, eh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
shit.
phantoms.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
They just sniped you.
Mate.
Are you alive?
Yeah, somehow. Yeah. Oh, mate. That was
Okay, I'm
crazy.
killing them. I got them.
Yeah, I'm taking these carrots.
Get
Oh
fucking.
my gosh.
Oh,
Got them.
Mate, that was wild. I got that on stream too and everything.
oh sorry. He's fucking still streaming.
So we should
Yes.
probably get to sleep. That way we can stop fighting these dudes.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
golden
Shepard
apple or
says-
carrot. You got you.
So Shepard says Cosmo has an OnlyFans level body. He's seen the pics.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up after the stream. Yeah, he found my he found those photos you leaked to me, Monty.
Yeah, he said that he deserves to know where my actual address is because he had to see shirtless photos of you. I secretly think he enjoyed them, and that's why he was trying to get kind of a bonus of both. But
Bonus.
yeah, but you know.
Nah, basically for clarification, so people don't think they're
I gotta
photos
check
that
out the
they're
street
not.
farm answer.
Every year, so I work out, obviously, 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 and there's like I take photos of like the progress of working out and such. Sleep? Yeah, we probably should. Probably should.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let me go down the elevator.
Fucking roof bed.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about it earlier.
We gotta
It's
move
not-
this shit. We
it's
gotta
not
move
Nah,
this.
I love. I would go
One-
right in between you guys.
Yeah, we were making jokes earlier. It's not 4 separate beds. It's just one giant bed.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. It's just one
All it is. Just
bed. Yes, man.
one giant
we-
fucking marshmallow mattress.
Do we have more food somewhere?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got a here.
Oh, Disney said he uses Hannah Montana Linux distro.
Hannah Montana Linux.
yes, right here behind you, Ursel.
You guys use Among OS?
Yes, Among Us. That's actually my my security. So I don't use Tails anymore. I actually use Among Us.
Yes.
For when I'm
On a
doing this.
persistent USB drive that I carry around with me everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the only distro I trust with my privacy.
Is it now?
Seems sus.
For those who can't tell, that is 100% sarcasm. I hope nobody
Yes, mate.
decides to use Among Us as.
That's
No, I
legitimate.
thought you were being serious. What the fuck?
Yes, Soul. Among Us, that's where it's at.
That seems a little sus to me.
You know what? Since we got everybody doing their topics and their what do you call it? Their stuff for the website. I really want somebody to actually do a real review of Among OS as a daily driver for like.
Hey hackers, Blue Cosmo from CCS here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Among OS. Among OS is basically a Debian-based Linux distribution.
Yeah, dude.
And that is all you need to know. Everything
Yes,
else
that'd
is
be fucking
just
gold.
Yes, man.
Instant popularity increase.
Exactly. I think honestly it'd be funny to see somebody like cover whether it's a real like if it's a usable OS or if it's just kind of a meme.
I mean, I know that you know we're quickly approaching 2,000 subs.
And we still haven't gotten the reward from 1,000 yet.
Okay, let's slow down now. Let's slow down now.
Am I wrong?
But I was going. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I was wondering what people would want to what type of thing people would want to see.
Well, first
when we hit them.
First we would like to see our
Okay, Monty. Okay, fucking kid, bro. I know you fucking killed me with one swing of your swords. Oh my god, Monty, I was kidding, Monty. Guys, he's still.
Your lucky lag is saving your ass.
Yes, mate. Oh my god, is he still going for me?
Yeah, he is.
Oh my god.
You better run.
Yes, mate. I am.
You keep
God,
running,
Matthew.
Cosmo.
Stop chasing him already.
Yeah, I know. I figured. I know. Oh, come on, mate. The assassination of Cosmo on hot tub stream for 2K.
Bro,
Hot tub stream.
we
Oh, mate.
we need
Oh,
that.
mate. That'd be funny. A hot tub stream. I'm gonna have to fly down to where you guys live at, and you know, we all just hop in the hot tub and call it a day.
Fine, but I'm wearing the NCR helmet.
That's actually perfect. Yeah.
The NCR
what did I
helmet
just
stays
do?
on during sex.
I may have just okay, never mind. I thought I messed up
no
for a second.
exceptions.
What were we working on
Please
again?
confirm.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing you saw the Mandalorian Tinder meme.
Yeah.
That was close.
What? Yeah. What the fuck were we working on now? I don't
I don't
remember.
remember.
I was making the tree farm, I think.
I mean, I kind of finished the animal temple area.
I've been I've been working on the Nautilus shells and getting the honey and everything going.
Oh, trees
I've
are
been
actually
working
growing
on-
in the farm.
I've been working on getting good at
I don't
Mario
know.
Kart.
I don't know if these ones are gonna grow though. These ones like in between. You know.
You know, honestly, it doesn't matter because if you cut one down, then they'll just take its place when it grows. Mate. Marty, best friend, buddy, old pal. Mate.
I spared you this day. I want you to know that.
Alright. Appreciate it. Love
Psych. Nope.
you. He said
Cosmo, you gotta
sorry.
get some better gear, dude. You gotta get some better gear.
What do
Why
you mean?
actually
You don't?
take
My
this-
leather
you
armor
take this-
isn't drippy enough. I swear, my leather armor is dripped.
You take the fucking totem of undying. You need it more
Oh,
than I
Monty
do.
just stole it.
Here.
Put it in
Damn.
your offhand. Honestly, you need it more than I do.
Yeah, with Monty on my back.
Oh, shit, someone in sword reach. How you doing, Cosmo?
Mate.
Where are you gonna go, my guy? Where are you actually gonna go? Oh, I guess you're straight through me. I would hit you, but you got that bow.
I got the fucking sniper bow.
Sniper
Whoa!
bow.
Here's
Can I wait? Can I? No, I have infinity on it. I only need one.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
One shot. Oh. One shot, one kill.
You got one
I
up.
love how this. Whoa! I fell right into that era. I love how this podcast has just gone straight from. Yeah, you know, Wi-Fi pineapple. Yeah, and now we're just.
I mean, I
Oh
think
my
we've
God.
said what it is. You know, break away from the standard of
Yeah, no, I was playing around. I
all
was
of
playing
the
around.
other stuff. But you know,
You-
look, we
you
like
need
it.
You need to learn the Wi-Fi pineapple right now.
learn the Wi-Fi pineapple. We actually have a Wi-Fi pineapple course if you guys want to learn how to use it. Anything. It's actually in this video. No, but that was a reference to the very first episode of this podcast where I just kept plugging other videos.
I remember that. It was just a constant plug of his own like merch and channel and.
But it was completely unintentional. I swear.
Bull. Swear the amount of times.
You did say your first language was bullshit, so.
Yes.
Hey, do you see where I'm at over here, Soul, on the temple?
Just get over there.
No, you can see me from the balcony. You just look right there.
Yeah.
Are you cool if I use this little section right here for a super smelter?
Super.
Yeah, go for it. I just think it might be kind of hard to get to. I don't know.
Well, then where do you want to do it? I want to put it somewhere that's. I'm fine doing it in that area over there if I want to.
You could. Well,
I'm doing it in that area over there. Something I never thought that I would have heard before.
we need like we wanted to make this like center disc like a crafting area, right? We should probably do that soon.
We only have farms and stuff on the outside, so there's the food farm and
like all of our quests and shit are down, still down here.
Farm.
The hell are you people building Midgar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You should actually see what's going on here on this server. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
Like some of the designs that are here are pretty.
Maybe one day if I get lead enough to download Minecraft Java on Kali, I'll actually participate.
Did you just say on Kali?
Please tell me you're not using Kali as a daily driver.
Yes, I am.
Oh God.
Somebody on YouTube, some hackfluencer told me that I had to do this.
Exhibit A. You know who I'd be interested to have in one of these conversations since they've been like from that aspect for a while? That person we were talking about yesterday, I sell feet pics or I sell foot pics, what it was.
Yeah.
I would be interested to get her here since she is, the InfoSec, kind of streamer we're talking about, that influencer, and see what's her opinion on it. I mean, do you see yourself doing those sort of things where you make content involving like, oh, do this right now for the sake of getting people involved, or do you feel that you have to go to simpler, more flashy topics due to, having to keep people around? I guess, Cosmo, let me ask you this. When you make your is Cosmo here?
I didn't hear him leave.
He's not. He's AFK on stream.
Oh, great. Never mind then. I was gonna say, I want to know if he has to kind of pull some of the content he wants to cover due to maybe being found boring by some of the people that he's streaming to.
Hey, Matsu.
Yeah.
How big is the super smelter? Like, could you put it on the center disc in like a reasonable area? Because there's another wall over here. You might want. You can put it in.
Come down there and see what you're referring to. What area? I can tell you if it will or won't fit.
Like on the center disc, do you think that would fit? Because I got a better spot if you don't want to put it here.
Where are you thinking about putting it?
So you can put it here or like here. We could like dig out this wall.
This is where I think it should go, into this area.
Okay.
This would be plenty. So let me pull up my schematics and everything and I can start building. But
okay.
And then I'll replace back the pattern to fill in what's not needed to be unfilled. Yeah, so that makes sense. Where are we going to put our mass storage? Because we need to start creating a big mass storage.
Yeah, we kind of need like a workshop. I don't know.
And how do you feel about doing it this way? Instead of doing the smelter here, cutting it back this way, and then since we'll have the storage area here, we can actually start doing the ores from the automated system.
Well, here, what I'm thinking, why don't we just make another room over here, and that can be like our workshop room. So we'll have like the storage there, and we'll have like the smelter there, and we'll have all our shit there.
All right, I'm back.
Nice. Cosmo, question for you. So I was talking about wanting to kind of get the viewpoint of somebody who is one of those.
I'm gonna start digging this out, by the way.
You're good. One of those security influencers type. And I brought up I sell foot pics. And about maybe wanting to get them on here sometime just to talk about that. And I know your content's a little different from the kind of content that they make, but Do you ever find yourself having to kind of pull on certain topics that you would find interesting just because you don't think it would get good user engagement?
Here's actually that's a great question. So do you think like I like would stray from talking about content because of like content or viewership?
So, say at the end of the day, you have a video that you feel would be very educational, but because of how deep in the rabbit hole it's going to get, people won't, not near as many people are going to engage with it as much. Would you take that content and still run with it, even if you already had a video prepped for something like, a new payload for one of the Hack 5 tools, something that's flashier, that's, a lot more visible and easier for people to grasp onto and kind of see that immediate reaction to?
I will be 110% honest with you. Nope. I do not give two craps about what people think of my content. I honestly just do it for fun. Honestly, just showcase like my interest and like things that I think are cool and interesting and also educational. And I think that's super important as a content creator to like practice. Is that you shouldn't be doing stuff for viewership. Like I know people hate the Wi-Fi pineapple. I know they do, but I wanted to explore the device because I have it. I could use it. You said what?
How can you form an opinion on it if you don't,
Yeah, how can I form an opinion on it if I don't even use it? Right. So I learned how to use it. I made videos on it. I, made a tutorial on it, all this other stuff, and I think it's like important to understand. Like, I'm not like a Wi-Fi hacker, but it's like just because you're not a cook doesn't mean you can't cook.
It's a tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool in my toolbox. I want to learn how to like actually use it. So I made those videos. I knew people were going to hate it. I knew people were going to hate, the Wi-Fi pineapple. I still made the videos, not to like tick anyone off, but I wanted to explore it. I wanted to learn more about it. And through that, I wanted to educate people. Actually, fun fact,
Can I just say something here?
Yes, go ahead.
I gotta go. I'll probably be back on in a little bit though.
Okay.
Cool.
See ya.
So, yeah, see you guys.
See it.
Peace.
But a little, not little known fact, but I think it was the 100 subscriber special. We started the Let's Learn series. And that was basically a series of where I taught people how to use different security tools, malware, or payloads, whatever. The first video for that was the USB rubber ducky. And in that video, I say like why I called it the Let's Learn series. And it's because you're learning it with me. It's not necessarily a tutorial on how to use the USB rubber ducky. It's a video of me learning it, and through it, I'm teaching you. Which is like, I guess it's a little bit, different and such, but it was kind of intentional, right? Because I wanted to kind of show my process of learning it as well as teaching people how to use it in a shorter form factor. And that's kind of like, but again, yeah, I'm kind of trying to stray away from my original point, but I guess to answer your question, no, I make content for fun for the main reason, showcasing stuff that I find interesting. So I won't typically care as much about viewership over the content that I think would be interesting to showcase.
Mm-hmm. Hold on just a second.
Oh, cool. Minecraft base is looking like that. I need to get this bridge type thing over here so it can look a little bit better. Let me actually check chat because I've not. Wow.
But I would be interested in talking with somebody. There's one person I really want to get on here and I want to talk to him about it, and it's simply because there's been jokes made and their channels is starting to become that thing, that kind of chasing and grabbing for the views, and I feel like they could get in more. And they started on getting deeper into it and kind of becoming that legitimate information hub, but I feel like they kind of strayed away, and that's Network Chuck.
Network Chuck, yeah, he's one of the few or one of the many I wanted to meet.
I would love to get him on here for one of those talks and just say, hey,
Yeah, I tried to reach out to him, but they respectfully denied. So we'll have to try again sometime.
When was this?
Like, probably like later last year.
Oh, it was
What you
still
got to do? What you got to do is you got to gotta get in his DMs and be like, you need to join my podcast right now.
Or else.
You need to learn how to be on my podcast right now. Sips coffee.
Sips
Sips
coffee.
coffee. Oh, I don't like coffee, so he's gonna have a problem with that.
You can sip tea and get his brother.
There you go. There
His
you
brother's
go.
a tea drinker. I don't know if you are or not.
Yeah. Do we have any, I guess we use all the saplings. That's good. Alright, so we have a working tree farm now, which is good.
We have a tree farm. We have animals. I think we have a lot of stuff going.
Yeah. Like
Should
our base is a little bit more sustainable. We should actually build some rooms and shit. Should we start what?
Should we start looking at potentially like ender level stuff, or
Ender portal?
like getting ender pearls and all that stuff, and starting to go eyes of ender, get ready for the ender dragon?
I think the two things we need to make are like, I don't know if you guys want to keep sleeping together on the bottom, but
An actual sleeping
if you
area.
want your own like room and like place to store your items and stuff. We also need like a mass storage area too.
That's what we're talking about. So you know that hallway where you put up all the banners just outside your tree farm?
Yeah.
They're in the middle against that back wall we're talking about. Uh-oh. Threw down a really nice sword. We're talking about building a hallway off that way and doing it.
Yeah, what up?
Well, I think we should probably wrap up the podcast if we're...
Yeah, if we're just chilling. Yeah. All right. So, oh, I see the whole. Got you going down. Got you. Cool. But let me go on my face. All right. So yeah, appreciate you guys for joining. This more odd and more interesting, kind of weird, episode of the podcast. If you guys have, comments or questions about anything that we said, feel free to leave them in a comment or let us know on Discord. Check out the Discord linked in the description as always. But yeah, definitely appreciate you guys for joining. It's always good to have you guys here and kind of chat hacks and such. But yeah, stay happy, stay positive, and as always, happy hacking.
Love you guys. Happy.
Hey hackers, Blue Cosmo from CCS here, and I wanted to introduce you guys to the Happy Hacker Site Plan. The Happy Hacker Site Plan is a plan where you guys can support us for only $1 a month. That's right, $1. With this comes exclusive benefits like courses, articles, videos, and access to our entire cybersecurity knowledge base. If this interests you and you guys want to get access to all this, check out the link in the description. It's only $1, so we definitely appreciate your guys' support. Anyway, enjoy the video and happy hacking.